joining us. And thank Texas for giving us some good weather today. I'm Danita Jones, Tri-Chair of Texas Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival here in Texas. And today we're gathered here in Austin, along with 32 other states and DC all across the country, for our mass poor peoples and low-wage workers simultaneous State House assemblies. We will not accept poverty being the fourth leading cause of death anymore. Poverty that is abolishable and unnecessary. We are determined to take back the mic from extremism, raise our voice, and register and cast our votes as demands and wake the sleeping giant. We will mobilize, educate, and engage 15 million infrequent poor low-wage voters who have not voted in past elections. It's time to wake the sleeping giant of poor and low-wage voters who now make up more than 30% of the electorate nationwide. All over the country, if just 20 to 30% of poor and low-wage infrequent voters were moved, they can change election outcomes and political outcomes. In many places, it's less than 10% to make that change. On this anniversary weekend of Bloody Sunday and the Selma to Montgomery March, and just a few days before the State of the Union and Super Tuesday, we are saying from state houses all over the nation, we won't be silent anymore or ignored. The number one reason poor and low-wage people don't vote is because nobody talks to them or includes their issues in public political debates. And that's including incumbents and new candidates. There are over 135 million poor and low-wage, low-income people in this nation. Over 52 million low-wage workers who make less than a living wage in their state. Less than $15 an hour. In a moment, you will hear more about the facts and what our state assembly and legislators have not done. And why those running for State House to the White House need to know we are not an insurrection of hate and destruction. We are a resurrection of power and purpose. Our state capitals are not just symbolic. They are the policy hubs whose decisions directly impact people facing systemic poverty and their interlocking injustices. State assemblies, state legislators, and governors make decisions that impact the poor and low-wage people. They impact minimum wage, health care, public education, housing, women's rights, voting rights. We are challenging extremism in state governments, and we are challenging poverty and low wage as the fourth leading cause of death. 800 people a day die from poverty. It's a moral, economic, social crisis that can be abolished. And now, my cohort in crime, my comrade, Alex Montalvo.
I'm Alexander Montalvo of the Texas Poor People's Campaign, serving as one of the tri-chairs, and I'm privileged to be here with all of you. Today, we did not come for just a day of action, but today is going to kick off 40 weeks of action throughout this year as we get ready for the November election. Are you ready? We're going to campaign to mobilize poor and low-wage voters to wake the sleeping giant here in Texas. Poor and low-wage people don't have to accept this. This current primary season and the November election will be voting our demands at the ballot box. Who's ready to vote for those demands alongside with us? We know the power that state houses have in impacting policy, which is why we demand abolishing poverty as the fourth leading cause of death in the U.S., a living minimum wage of at least $15 an hour, indexed for inflation, full and expanded voting rights. In Texas, we're saying no more voter suppression. Guaranteed workers' rights and labor rights. Healthcare for all. Affordable and adequate housing. An end to gun violence. And both the profit and proliferation of it. Fully protected women's and reproductive rights. Environmental justice that secures clean air and water. We're going to demand a fully funded public education. We want just and humane immigration laws. And we want an end to hate, division, and the extremist political agenda. Today, we are joined by poor and low-wage workers, faith leaders, and advocates to send a message to the legislators responsible for the unrelenting policy violence against poor and low-income people that we won't be silent anymore. We won't be silent anymore. We will hear from those who are the faces of these facts. We're going to shout out all of the Fusion Coalition mobilizing with us today. So there's a lot of great folks here. The Healing Project, Asian Texans for Justice, the Texas Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry, Coalition de Apoyo al Migrante en su Nuevo Avance, St. James Episcopal Church, Austin, and Seminary of the Southwest, the Border Network for Human Rights, Young Invincibles, Proyecto Santiago St. James Episcopal Church, Austin, Congregation Cher Ami, Texas American Federation of Teachers, the Austin Justice Coalition, the Tarrant County Justice Network, the Awesome Texas Raging Grannies, the Central Presbyterian Church, Citizens Lab, Common Cause Texas, El Concilio Mexican American Landowners de East Austin, Givers, Galveston Island Voter Education Resource Services, Grandparents for Public Schools, Greater Houston Coalition for Justice, Houston Peace and Justice Center, IDRA, Indivisible Austin, Macedonia Baptist Church Social Justice Ministry, Moms Demand Action Austin, New Endeavor Texas, Nomad Sound, Our Liberation, Power, providing opportunities with education and resources, Texans Against Gerrymandering, the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans, the Afia Center, the Timothy Courage Ministries, What's in the Mirror, the Gap Network, and last but not least, the Texas Grassroots Alliance. And we also want to thank the Hungry Hill Foundation for being here to help with our security.